quaint Cambridgeshire village with one of the highest crime rates in Britain.
Yeah, just be careful if you go
Nightmare
there. Murder is never far away from Grantchester, but thankfully our next guest is always around to help solve the case. Yeah.
And as the 9th series of the hit show continues, we're joined by DI Geordie Keating himself, Mr. Robson Green. Good
How are
morning,
you?
Lovely to see
sir.
you.
Still here, still surviving, Ben. Still here.
Well, he was 50 this time. How long ago? You were 60.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah. Do you remember being young and looking at someone who was 60 and thinking, how are you still alive? Seriously.
He quite enjoyed being 50, though. Do you quite enjoy being 60?
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. I don't think of it as 60. We're every age we've ever been in our lives.
Do you think there's a big shift, though? Well, I certainly felt this when I turned 50. Then actually, there's a big shift. You hit your 50s. My boys are 18 and 19. They're sort of... Annie and I are on a bit different stage of life. I think you're sort of... What you want to do, what you're thinking about doing, your ambitions, everything shifts slightly.
Well, I'm very privileged. I mean, I live in economic stability. I've survived for 40 years. I do something that I love doing, and that keeps you young.
Yeah.
That keeps you young. I genuinely enjoy what I'm doing, and I continue to enjoy it.
We had Tom and Rishi on the other week.
We did.
Oh, yeah, good lads on that.
And they were sitting there and they were talking about what a lovely time they have working on the show. And also, Tom was talking about that moment when he left and how he turns around to you and goes, I hope I've made you proud. And he said the two of you were just in bits.
It was a difficult scene to film. Listen, the reason why I think it's so successful, it is so collaborative. I mean, last Wednesday, more people in this country watched Grantchester than any other programme at 9 o'clock.
Fabulous.
And that's real testament to the writing, to these endearing relationships, to meaningful relationships, to skilled writing, but a team that genuinely loves, is committed and cares about the show, and I think that resonates in front of the lens. I think it's everything.
Yeah.
And you know, I've survived for 40 years, and it doesn't take an Oxford Don to work out why. I've been surrounded by great writers. Some of them Oscar-nominated, be it Lee Hall, Jeff Pope, Paul Abbott, and now we've got the wonderful Daisy Coolman. And it's down to the writing, must it?
But also it's down to that relationship and connection that you guys have as a team, because he was saying how complicated it was. You were doing this final scene and you were all choked up, and then the crew were all choked up as well. And you do it day in, day out. You've done it for years, but there's still that sort of... that chemistry and that relationship that exists.
You're saying goodbye to someone you love and a journey that you've loved going on. That's what you're doing.
Yeah.
And that was tough. And the whole team was saying goodbye to Tom, and we were wishing him well. And there he is off filming in Thailand. But it's a goodbye to the journey and that wonderful relationship that we've created, and the joy and the laughter. We're still best of friends, of course we are. And then, you know, and then comes along this really wonderful new energy with Rishi Nair.
Yeah.
And by all accounts, you've not made it easy for him. Robson, you like to prank him on set.
Yes.
Explain.
My favourite gag is on set is when you're just talking and they're getting ready to do the scene, and then I'll just go, they've shouted action. And he goes in on the scene and he starts acting the scene. Nobody knows what he's doing.
And
That's
no one's
quite
actually
funny
by the
behold. Yeah, nobody's bothered. I love doing that gag.
He's the Clooney of Grantchester. That's
Exactly
what he is.
that.
Isn't he?
Yeah, no, I knew Rishi was going to do well. I've been an exec on the show. You have a say in the casting. And he came in, and we just had a chat before we went in and met the execs. And he went, you're a Newcastle fan, aren't you? And I never met Rishi. And I went, yeah, who's your team? And it was Man U. And he started going on about, you know, how terrible Man U were doing. I went, mate, I'm a Newcastle fan. The last time Newcastle won anything, King Harold still had two eyes. You know? So we got on, and it was just instant chemistry.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things that is deeply apparent in Grantchester, through Geordie, he tells the audience, you're going to like this guy. You're going to like this guy. And it was instant. And I said that in the audition. I said to Emma Kingsman-Lloyd and Daisy Coolman, who are the real reason why this show was a success. They were right there from the start, you know. I said, you're going to like this guy. He's got it. And sometimes you can't quantify what it is, you know. But and he cares so much. And everybody cares. You know?
It's just a great fit, which is lovely. You had about 200 American fans rock up on set one day.
Yes. Gosh, you've done your research. So, yeah, we were on set filming, and 4 busloads of Americans turned up, super fans of Grantchester, and all they wanted was a photograph of actually being outside the church. They didn't know we were actually filming there. So they all turned up, and they couldn't have been more complimentary and more loving and caring, and it was such a joyous experience. And then they all held their phones up, and they went, hey, Robson, say Christ on a bike. And there was just this silence, and I just went, Christ on a bike. And they went, yeah! They went nuts.
It's amazing.
It was nuts. Yeah, it's a show
we love it.
We've
run out of time, so will you come back and talk about your weekend escapes with us?
Yeah, absolutely. Comfort Blanket for the Soul every night, 6:30 on BBC Two.
We love it. That's coming up. Grantchester continues tomorrow at 9 o'clock on ITV1 and ITVX.
And you can watch the new series of Robson Green's Weekend Escapes on Monday at 6:30 on BBC Two and BBC iPlayer.
Please come back and talk to us about that.
Also come back.
Fabulous.
I need the publicity.
Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. And we'll see you in the morning.